Thank you, Bronwyn and Indaba, for agreeing to have this chat with me. I think we can start off by you guys telling us how you got into your career and where it all started.
Thanks, Danielle. Thanks for having us. For me, it started many years ago. I moved to the UK and I worked for a cruise line company called Norwegian Cruise Line. And I love being in hospitality and tourism. And then when I came back to South Africa, I lived in Johannesburg and I actually was in the NGO sector for many years. And I decided about 3-4 years ago that I wanted to move back home to beautiful Cape Town. And I thought, I want to go back into hospitality. I want to go back into tourism. So before I moved, I sent my CV out with a covering letter telling everybody how I wanted to go back into tourism and hospitality, and I got an opportunity at the President Hotel, and so I picked up my career from there, and I've loved the last 3 years.
It's been an interesting journey. It started as pocket money, basically, at varsity, and I remember working at a pizza shop, and all I just did was get money, get drunk, and then somehow hospitality found me. I had a good foundation. I worked for a hotel that actually had a good foundation, and my passion grew. I could never find myself just working and not really adding value to a place. And then from that, I just kept on seeing myself growing. I've been at the President for 1 year, and it's been phenomenal just being here, realizing more about people, about giving experiences, and continuously just living in an environment that you are not in control of, but you have an opportunity to give people good experiences.
Tell me, what do you like about your career? What got you inspired? What do you love most about the job?
Yeah, I definitely think it's the people. I think it's the guests. I think it's the staff. I think it takes a very specific kind of person to work in hospitality and tourism. And I think it's those people that I enjoy working with. They are outgoing, they're humble, they're service orientated. And then, of course, the guests. It's every day is something new. Every day there's a new challenge. And when I say challenge, it's always a good challenge to see how you can solve something or how you can help somebody, how you can give them the best experience. And it's just exciting. It's no day is the same. Every day is a new experience, and I love that.
Yeah. Now people take the cup from every year. I think we've built relationships that many of them are solid as if we were born together. However, also if you look at our industries, it's worth it. It's an industry that is not, I wouldn't say it's fully developed. So we've got an opportunity to see more, and with that, we have an industry that we can just continuously enjoy. So people, industry, and relationships.
Yeah, I can totally agree. I also worked in a restaurant and as a waiter when I was younger. And it's a great experience to learn how people behave, what they eat, how they see South Africa in a different light as us that live here. So it is very inspirational. Thank you, guys. The next question is, what do you on your job, what do you think, or what would you like travelers to know about your job?
I think I'd like them to know what goes on behind the scenes, the people that they are interacting with, the special people that it takes to, run operations of a hotel, what we do behind the scenes to make their experience so amazing. A lot of guests do get it though, to be fair. And I think that you have a fantastic rapport with your guests. But there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. But I think I'd also like them to know how much we love our jobs and how much we love having them here and showcasing, in our instance, this beautiful hotel, beautiful Bantry Bay, beautiful Cape Town. We have that love for what we do, and we love sharing it with the guests. And I really hope that comes across to the guests, and they see that. They see the love that we have for everything that we do and our industry.
I completely agree with Bron, especially in a country that's so diverse. behind the scenes and just putting your best foot forward after that is quite amazing. So 100% what we do behind the scenes is what we would like them to know, that we put a lot of effort and we kind of really love them on a daily basis, because we love what we do. So we always want them to know that behind the scenes is what makes what they experience.
What was the funniest or the quirkiest thing that happened like during COVID-19, or questions that people asked?
We haven't really had anything out of the norm. The guests, I think, have been very understanding. They all, especially when we first started opening up to the business traveler, and now obviously with leisure, they were just happy to be able to travel. They totally understood all the protocols that we had in place, all the regulations that were required, and nobody really asked for anything. They were very understanding. They were happy with whatever service we were providing, if it was limited service with regards to housekeeping and F&B and even alcohol sales. And nobody really, I don't remember anything. They were just so happy. It was quite remarkable to see that guests were just so happy to be back that they just slotted straight in and were just excited to be here, and nobody had anything really out of the norm.
Yeah,
I don't know if you had anything.
I agree. Funny when she speaks about alcohol. It's interesting how much of an experience that part of our work in the food and beverage. So just food alone sounded like what's missing. And when we had just that snippet opening of just alcohol sales, whatever it was, there was quite that embrace, as well as, when you're in a theater show and then something happens and then the whole crowd says, "Oh," and then the whole crowd says when something wrong goes. It's like it was in such an in sync. So maybe one can think of it as a fun moment, but nothing really out of the ordinary, as Barney said. It's just people wanting to get back to normal.
What did you guys do individually or as a business to make travelers feel safe and put their minds at ease when they visit or when they come in?
Well, this is something that I'm very proud of. I think we all are. So we started a committee called the Hygiene Committee, and obviously I'm one of the COVID officers. We also have our health and safety manager who was appointed as the COVID officer for the property, and we jumped on board and really started implementing all the protocols that were required. It started with our SAFE document that was designed while we were still in level 5, and our SAFE Academy, which is how we train our staff, all the protocols that we put in place, and we really have gone above and beyond, because it's so important for us, for our staff to feel safe, for our staff to be safe, for our guests to feel safe and to be safe, and anybody that comes onto the property. So we have put in sanitization stations across the board. We've got disinfectant mats. We have the high chem SDST chemical that lasts for 3 months and kills any virus on contact. We have partnered with Diversey, which is obviously an international brand for all our chemicals and cleaning agents. We have put in all the necessary protocols, from housekeeping, food and beverage. We hit the ground running, and we did a massive training schedule with our, training program with our staff. So everybody was trained from start to finish, signing a pledge wall saying that they promise to keep themselves and our guests safe. And we just have done everything to ensure that the hospital, that particularly the President Hotel, has all the correct protocols in place, that we follow all the protocols, and we can just, our guests can come and check in and feel rest assured that they are safe.
It's been a great journey. I think being part of, I think, relaunch of an existing hotel, more looking at it really intimately. And me working, I always call the food and beverage department the stage. So whilst you can have the whole play written down, it's now just having the guys find fun in it and really kind of bring their personalities to it. So the taking and the meeting of the committee, getting the training going, for me transpired into how does it look like, how does it feel. So we touched into our values as a company, and we also brought them down into how do they translate into the product. Much of it has been exciting. I think once you stop learning, you actually die. So even if you're doing the same job, this whole time period has allowed us to relook at what we do and how we do it. And it's kind of given us a new list of life to that. So from our department, getting the guys becoming ambassadors was one of the most achievements. Like you're looking at the hotel on a holistical manner than just I do this. So it's something to look forward to. It's something that also gets us every day waking up to come and reflect and better.
What actually happened when we first heard about lockdown, and obviously the first case arrived in South Africa in early March, we already started to implement a lot of the protocols that we had to. We also have the BA crew who stay with us. So from early on, we were implementing protocols from a sanitization perspective, social distancing, mask wearing, PPE. So we actually were lucky. We got sort of a head start on that. Then we went into full lockdown. And while we were in full lockdown, we started putting all the policies and operating procedures into place. And we had a chance to discuss it and look at best practices, and all the heads of departments got together and did presentations on their departments as to what they would implement. So it's been wonderfully collaborative between all the departments. Everybody did their own research and saw what were best practices overseas, because obviously we're a month or two behind overseas. And I think that's the one thing that I'm very proud of the President Hotel is just how, I'm not saying everybody doesn't take it seriously, but how genuinely serious our team took this, because we knew that this is what was needed in order to keep our staff and our guests safe, as well as what would be needed when the industry reopened. So we researching all the time. We're looking for new things to implement, whether it's UV equipment or whether it's electric static sprayers, just trying to keep ahead of everything, because this is going to be the new normal. Even when they find a vaccine or they eradicate the virus, there's always the potential that there'll be something else around the corner. I think also guests will now in the future expect something on this level, because they've now become accustomed to high levels of cleanliness and sanitization. So it's always going to be a part of our DNA moving forward. But one of the big things as well for us was, how do we not lose that guest experience? How do we not lose that interaction with the guest and become extremely clinical and robotic with everything that we do? And that's, where we work with the team all the time, because as much as there's certain things we can't deliver to a guest, daily cleaning of the room and that type of thing, you still need the guest to feel comfortable, to feel satisfied with their service, and still be able to engage with the guest within how do you interact with that guest while you're wearing a mask, while you're standing 2 meters apart, but still give that wonderful service and make them feel welcome. I think people also are operating from a place of fear, and that immediately makes you push away from somebody, and we're trying to sort of just keep the guest experience there. It has to still be a wonderful holiday or vacation or time away with your family and friends, and we don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
That was very well said, and seeing that you guys took a firm grip on things clinical wise and all of that is very great. Thank you guys for taking that
Yeah.
initiative. It brings me to my last question. Um, one piece of advice, if you could give one piece of advice to travelers or business people or guests coming in, what would that be?
I think my advice would be, we're all nervous, if I can say that. I don't want to use the word fear, afraid. I think some people are, but I think we've all started to adapt to living with a virus. But I think my advice is, first and foremost, stick to the protocols, understand why they're there. You're required to wear your mask, you're required to keep social distancing, to sanitize regularly. We often have to stop a guest and say, would you mind sanitizing your hands when you're entering the hotel, or please wear your mask. And just for people to understand, by doing that, we're keeping each other safe, and we can open all the industries and we can go back to normal the way a lot faster than if we didn't. I think also my advice is that you can trust, if you're comfortable with the establishment or the hotel that you are going to, and you've done your research and you know that they have implemented the right protocols, then you shouldn't have any fear about staying at a hotel or traveling or doing anything or going to a restaurant. And I always use myself as an example because I stay with my sister, and she had COVID about 2-3 months ago. Luckily, it wasn't as serious a case or symptoms as some people, but I lived with her, and I never caught it because we sanitized, we kept our social distance. Obviously, as soon as she was detected as having it, she isolated herself. And in that circumstance, if you can be in such close proximity to somebody and still not catch the virus, then it means that these protocols are working. And I think that can put a lot of people's minds at ease.
Well, I would say most sentiments shared from what Bron has said. However, the same sentiment goes when someone says, when you travel, you get to understand things more. So whilst this pandemic has kind of affected everyone, we can all learn from each other. I always believe when you go to a meeting, go to a friend's party, take your value with you and add to whatever is there. It's amazing how much we have good energies around us. And the minute you actually have all those energies there, you create memorable experiences. This pandemic may stay, long. However, what is asked out of us is just the basics. So we value when we have guests that come in, also leave us with something that we can remain with in terms of knowledge, as well as what we can improve. Whilst we also want to give them something to take, I think this is the time where we go back into our basics, where we live like in a communal side, where whatever you have, you take with, you leave, and you'll be amazed you go away with something. So that's one of the things I would say to travelers is, please do travel. If there's something that you really have seen somewhere and you feel it can aid there, we are so happy to receive as we are giving. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. And I think also have fun, travel,
yeah.
Live life as much as we can, and sensibly and cautiously and during these times. But I really just think that one thing that this whole pandemic has shown us is that we want to live our lives. We want to get on with it. We want to engage with people. We want to appreciate the things that we have. And I think we just need to adapt to it. And I think that's what we've all done really well, particularly in this industry and at the President Hotel. We've adapted. And so it's safe to travel, and please come and look at this beautiful view. Come and visit us and travel and have fun. We'll make it the best experience we can.